You keep stalling. You open the form, then you close it. It's not true. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather what we do in the face of it. We all feel fear. What sets people with courage apart is what they do with that fear. We practice discernment. We don't get better at discernment by making the right decision. We get better at it by making any decision and then learning from it. There's a wonderful quote from the writer David Brooks, who said, "The first step to being discerning is to stop being frightened of making a decision." The author Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie tells a story about how one of her professors told her class that no one should ever ask her whether she thinks the French fries are good at the restaurant. Instead, he said, "Tell them there are no bad fries, only medium fries." This professor wasn't trying to convince his students that all French fries taste the same. What he was trying to do was shake them out of a mindset of absolutes to help them see that most things exist on a spectrum. Good, bad, right, wrong. These are human constructions. Reality is more complicated. Discernment is the ability to cut through the noise and choose what matters. We free ourselves up to make a choice, and to make that choice with confidence. Once we've made the choice, once we've put one foot in front of the other, then we can evaluate. We can ask ourselves, given what I know now, would I do it the same way again? And if the answer is no, then we adjust and we try again. And with each adjustment, we clarify what we want, who we are, and what we believe in. And that is how we discern. In the face of imperfect information, discernment is based on our experience, our values, our intuition, our understanding of human nature, and above all, our willingness to take an educated guess and to test it out. They channel it, they confront it head-on, because they know that doing so will help them grow. You hover over send, but you never press it. During his 27 years of imprisonment, he was offered an early release no fewer than 4 times. But he refused to accept the offer unless his wife was released alongside him. He was afraid to leave her behind, and so he stayed, resisting the fear that she would never be free, knowing that doing so would help him become the person he needed to be to lead South Africa out of apartheid. You say you'll decide tomorrow, but tomorrow becomes next week. Perfect information is an illusion. There's never going to be a time where we know everything we need to know to make a decision. Even Google's searches end with dead ends. Even the smartest people in the world end up saying, "I don't know." There is no way to completely eliminate risk. If you're waiting for the perfect moment, it doesn't exist. People call it indecision, but that's not what this is. You're not unsure. You're afraid. Afraid that whatever you choose, you'll regret. And it's not because you're careless. It's because you care too much. You've been burned before by the job you hated, by the friend you trusted, by the version of you that tried too hard. Now every decision feels permanent. Every option feels like a trap. So instead of risking another mistake, you freeze. But here's the truth. Not choosing is also a choice. And it carries its own cost. Missed chances, delayed growth, and the slow erosion of self-trust. The longer you avoid deciding, the more you teach yourself that you can't be trusted with your own life. That's not protection. That's paralysis. I've spent most of my career studying and writing about courage. And one of the biggest misconceptions about courage is that courageous people don't feel afraid. There's a wonderful story about Nelson Mandela. The question is, how do we make that shift from being paralyzed by fear to using our fear as fuel? Here's what we have to remember. So if we're never going to have all the information we need, what do we do instead? And here's the key insight. If we can start seeing things on a spectrum,